Okay, we'll continue. Okay, buyer's broker agreement。看这个来讲的话，通常都是讲这些，最主要是 buyer 的 strategy。Getting buyer to accept the reasonable time period and buyer broker agreement. The right amount of time. I'm committed to working with you as long as it takes to find you the right home. This may take 1 week or several months, depending on type of home you are looking for and what's available on the market at any point this time. I'd like to make this agreement for X month and ensure we give ourselves the right amount of time to find you what you want. Basically, that's, according to this, we also have to see how many houses out there supply. It may even take longer. Or if the house buyer doesn't like it, it can take even longer, 1 week or several months. They just don't have the house. But that's why you also have to persuade the buyer. We don't have a perfect house. No matter what, no way. So if they have the issue finding a problem of finding the house, let's sit down. What's their priority? Some people want to have, for example, downstairs got to have a bedroom. Okay, so anything without a bedroom, eliminate. I'd like to have a view. Great. Okay, do you find a view home? Eliminate. So you don't wasting their time. On the other hand, wasting your time. Because especially when we treat a buyer, actually buyer controlling our time, just according to Mike Ferry, what they say. Seller, we control seller's time, but buyer control our time. If they cannot find the right house, they continue. You gotta have to show them a property. So that's, cannot say really good, but depend on how much time you spend. If you get so lucky, just like if you guys can set up an auto email to your buyer, just like, what I go through with the MLS, auto email. Why? You let the buyer actually look at the property through internet first. Then if they really like it, they may drive by, look at the environment, the neighborhood first, before you actually open the door. So you only got the last stage. Better yet, but certainly, if this client loyal to you, some of them I comfortable, let them just go through, just have them to see the open house by themselves. So thank God they didn't really go through the listing agent directly. They come back to me, James, I'd like to submit the offer. Great. But also you gotta have to determine, are you comfortable with this client? Especially repeating, yes, you have probably more comfortable. But same thing, even repeating, they can go out to look at the property by themselves and purchase the house through listing agent, because what listing agent tell the buyer, especially as an agent? Well, if you want to buy this house, you gotta have to go through me. What's that telling you? Me, listing agent. I'm telling I have to double end, otherwise you have no deal. Some of the listing agent pretty bad. We won't do that, but comes around, goes around. You can see some of the listing agent there like that, especially with the low commission agent. And try not to show those 1%, because those are, as you can see, most likely the listing agent want to double end it, and they would easily escape your client, your buyer. Okay. Exchange number 2, short time period. Here's what I'm willing to do. We'll make this agreement only for today. I'll take you to see several homes, and if you decide to make an offer on one of this home, we'll have everything covered so that I'll be able to get paid. Then at the end of the day, if you want to continue work with me, and if I want to continue working with you, we'll sign another agreement. Is that okay for you? So that is actually the, you look at it, and it's okay. You sign just 1 day, for the buyer's agreement. No problem. You can do that. Yeah. So that's why, they want to make sure they're covered. What happened is, like, especially Caucasian, why they let them sign a buyer's agreement just for 1 day, today? Because they are afraid the buyer go to listing agent directly. Because they have what? For sale sign, right? And you cannot guarantee. I said, we show the property and what happened? Hey, they go through, listing agent. But when we submit offer, sometimes we would even, I would suggest even you could submit it with the your buyer's agreement as well. Yeah. Let me just send a quick text. So that's why, that's just prevent the buyer go directly to the listing agent. So even one day, that's fine. You'll sign it. Fully refundable retaining fee. This is how a retaining fee work. If you have successful closing, the retaining fee is fully refunded to you. If you decide to cancel or renew this agreement when it expires, then I keep the retaining fee as compensation to offset the small fraction of my cost. I'm pleased to say that I have never had to keep any retaining fee because I've always had successful closing. May not really work with the Asian community, but you can try. I probably won't say that, but most likely, yes. If you can find I cannot say the perfect house. If you can find what is your buyer's priority, you have them to list it. So some people maybe budget, some people floor plan, some people location. So what's their top priority? What's the second? What's the third? So basically, if you can meet their 1, 2, and 3, the top 3 priority, cannot say 100% the rest of priority, but if you can meet on their top 3, most likely it's okay. But you gotta have to educate them. They say 70%, yeah, 70%. 啊？哦，谢谢你。哦哟，太客气了。哦，向日葵啊，哇，在今天最后一堂课，我还第一次收到花呢。哦，教了这么久，哎呀，你太贴心了。
补上一杯咖啡。
太贴心了，谢谢谢谢。谢谢谢谢谢谢。向日葵这边比较少见。对呀、啊，很好看啊，谢谢谢谢。对啊，哎，太客气了。反正过2个月你们还是要再回来嘛。Starting on the purchase agreement, yeah, pretty much， 就是我还会来。对，这次来讲，我大概是 starting either，会是差不多 most likely October 吧，大概是这样。对，应该还会我再回来。对啊，那时候讲话就是用 buyer's agreement， 因为那时候可能教授我不知道 buyer's agreement 什么时候还会再 change， 不过也是有可能。就像我那时候刚交完那个 lease agreement， 6月的时候就刚刚好就 change 了。对啊，就是对啊，所以还有新的嘛。你考试没问题啦。
对呀
，piece of cake， 对呀 ，piece of cake， 对不对？我们来讲的话呢，考试的话是越错越战越勇那种，你知道？对呀。Did I tell you, I slept over， 我睡过头，when I 那个考 broker 的时候。Actually, I get 2 sessions. Morning session, I already finished up. When you walk out, you know how many % you go through. Oh, okay. I probably got 90% or over 90%. Afternoon, and then parking lot, having a lunch because in downtown LA. Having a lunch, and I said, okay, I still got half hour. I can take a nap. When I wake up, damn, 1:15. They're starting 1 o'clock. Man, I just because that's on the exam center, on the parking lot. So I rush in just a couple minutes. Then when we actually what used to be, you know, when we take the exam, those are the old days. Like, you know, they have 4, you know, examiner on each corner. And we all sit on them. Everybody waiting. Where are you, James? I'm sorry, I fall asleep. Boy, the whole classes, all the tests, they laugh so loud. Like, I figure, you know, I got half hour, I got to take that. Come on, come over to see. Almost eliminate you, you know. They knew, you know, I was in the morning. They actually know, pretty much know everybody because we sit pretty far apart. You cannot even see it. Just like, you know, if I sit right here, the other guy is right here. That far. Yeah. And besides, your booklet, the exam is different than his. Yeah. They have 6 or 7 different versions. So there's no way you can actually see who is who. Yeah. Then that's why you gotta have to write which booklet what you have. Otherwise, you know, when they put in the Scantron, you might get all the wrong answer. But those are, you know, when you get a broker license, those are they rated, you know, as a curve. It's not like, you know, you passing or not. So they will, for what they tell us, they will eliminate for whatever, you know, for the whole class. They, no matter what, they will eliminate 60% to 65% and only keep the top 35 to 40%. That's, you know, when I get the license, I think about 15 years ago. Yeah. When I get a broker license. Yeah. I start with the agent just like you do. Works the, you know, few years. Then I get the broker license. Yeah. Now I know they get computer, right? And is it the whole class or just you? Whole class? Okay. I know when I took like my appraisal license, there's only 5. I say, that's the exam center, only 5 computer? Well, not many people taking it anyway. And I'm the only one. And who do you want to see? Computer here. Appraiser actually take more advanced and more harder than the broker license. Broker I still using Scantron. But after broker next year I took the appraiser. Everything is computer. Yeah. And if it's so it's all different. Yeah. Now the computer even smarter. Whatever you don't know how to answer, they will come out repeating those questions. If you answer right, they will, you know, skip the subject. Next. if they will know if you answer wrong, it will continue come out. Then you know, say, oh yeah. That's what I heard. That also getting pretty smart now. Yeah. Okay. Well, here and credit retaining fee. The oh, okay. We covered that. So basically, you know, for the retaining fee, that is something. If you for Caucasian, they will understand. For Asian or especially Chinese, you tell them, what? Show me the house. I'm still need to collect the fee from you. Oh no, they probably won't go with you, right? Okay. Even we have a hard time if we just tell them to show us the down payment and the pre-qualified letter, you know, before they're showing the property. So those are may not suitable for Asian, but it's good to know. Okay, for the retaining fee, simply there's a down payment on the service fee. If you help to cover some of the costs prior to our successful closing, it will be fully refundable to you or credit to on the service fee at a successful closing of the cost. That might be a, you know, a good way. Some of the people, they really cheap. You probably, and they say, how much you want me to give me the kickback? Maybe I just have a thought when I read about this. You want a kickback? How much? 1,000? Sure. Give me $1,000 check right now. What do you mean? You're gonna give me a kickback? Yes. But if I close it with you, I'll match it, your $1,000. Not only I return it your $1,000 check, or I cash it and I will match it and I'll put it into your closing cost. I credit. Suppose this $1,000. You can say that actually steals a buyer's money. But you tell them, say, I will refund it to you to the closing cost. Or even somebody want to ask a kickback. Okay, I'll match it. But you need to pay me first. So if you have a gut to say that. Okay, you give me 1,000, I'll match it. I'll give you another 1,000. Not only I refund this 1,000 to you, and I put another $1,000, for example, to the closing cost. If some people really want to give the kickback, just have a thought. Was it really? You guys say sometimes I just be creative, just test it and see if the buyers are serious, or they just call around who can give it the most on a kickback, because I know a lot of them, they got so used to it. They said, you're supposed to know that. Oh yeah, that's the Chinese way. I'm sorry, I'm the American, but speaking Chinese. You're not Chinese. No, I'm American at this time. Especially when they ask me. Yeah, I'm an American and just speaking Chinese though. So I don't know the Chinese way. I'm sorry. Yeah. You teach me. How to select the right realtor. I understand that. Actually agree that you should interview other agent. That way you will be more comfortable with your final choice. If there is anything I haven't covered for you, if you have any concern about anything I say, please let me know now so that I can clarify or add information for you. I want you to make the complete information decision. In fact, here is a summary. I am prepared to help you select the right realtor for the job. If I give you the important area to consider of the question asked. Using this summary, you'll be able to set for the best realtor who can truly get you the best combination of term and condition on your next home. This one sounds very familiar. Well, repeating, from listing. When it's a listing presentation, basically that's what we ask. I'm probably using this strategy more than the buyer, because buyer, that's a good, for the Chinese community. What happened? They're more relying on referral than the interviewing. Hardly you see the typical Chinese buyer, they interview the buyer's agent until they did not get the property. And they just switch. They are not even interview, but they just continue having a different agent, a buyer's agent. That's it. But I mean, if you can, keep them, that's fine. But those are just, for Caucasian, because some of the buyers, they maybe interview at a buyer's agent as well. But when it's an interview at a buyer's agent, then basically they will stick with that particular buyer's agent. At least they have a loyalty. Asian, especially Chinese, ain't got no loyalty, especially buyers. It's not like, how many did you ever sign in the buyer's agreement? Well, I gotta have to raise my hand. I never. Even I tell you how to do it. Did I ever do it? No, not really. It may not suitable for the Chinese community. But I'm pretty confident they'll stick with me. Yeah. They'll stick with me. But if they don't, that's okay. No hard feeling. Move on. Next case. That's it. Select the interest, save the relationship. Virtually all of my past and the current claim and has had a friend and family member in real estate. See, this one is repeating same thing as the listing part. So what do? We don't want to jeopardize the relationship, right? And also the realize the final financial and personal information. You don't want to do that, because especially purchasing the house, they gotta have to show you their bank statement, their pre-qualified letter, blah blah blah. They actually probably show you more than when you took their listing, if you had as a seller. Buyer, they gotta know all their financial issue. Those are kinds of repeating, but those are same thing. That's how you attack somebody. Oh, my friends or my sister or whoever sister-in-law is a buyer. Just like last time I tell the buyers, Well, your what sister-in-law, you're the buyer's agent. Oh, so he will give me a 1% kickback. Oh, I see. Then why are you starting with me first? Why don't you tell me? Oh, because she lives far away. So, until submit the offer, and I'll let her know. Then you're just wasting my time. I'm sorry. If your sister-in-law submit the offer, it won't be this price. I flat out to tell you now. Why? Because same thing, I give 1% to you, but it's not to you. I give it to seller because I'm the listing agent. Sometimes when we double end, we maybe give a discount to the seller. Okay? But I need to double end it first. Then I can give the 1%. So you still, for the price what you offer, I only give the 1%. But if you want to tell your sister, welcome, but it's not going to be this price. That 1%, she can give it a kickback, but I will add a 1% more, on the asking the selling price, because seller didn't get their benefit. Why? Because I tell the buyer, say, seller, after all the costs, all the fee, they want to need something in, what's the net? How much do I get net? Right? So I can still pay you the same percentage, for the commission as I listed on MLS, but it won't be this price. And if you want to tell your sister-in-law, go ahead. You make the call. Well, certainly I like to double end it, so I make more. Why not? But I didn't really show. Do I really care? No. Same thing, when we will go on the Mike Ferry, what do we cannot show. We are so urgent. I want the listing. Seller can sense that. If they sense you are so urgent, they want to get their listing, then you cannot really control them later on, or they would not listen to you, whatever your suggestion is. Yeah. Same thing, you got to make like the seller hire you, or same thing, buyer hiring you. But on the other hand, you need to control them, given a suggestion, the right direction. But unfortunately, this, on our, this career, very, very few, they are like you do. You still do the training. They just say, all right, get the license. All right, I'm everything. No, you are nothing. You're nothing yet, okay? But a lot of things, once they get the license, they think they are everything. They know everything. No, you don't know anything, really. Yeah, all you got is a book. What do we learn on the exam? It's all history. Come on, knowledge, everything. The world's changed so fast. Whatever you learn from the textbook, they all history now. They all history. So those are, you know how to attack, just in case if they tell you, they will tell you that their friends or family member is also the agent. They say, then what you find me for? Well, it's because the good thing is, what I always tell them. This part, the friend family, for the some is a part-time, and I did it. This part, the 4 different category. I did it. They didn't really mention, but the most I would tell the buyer's agent. What I did is. Oh, okay. When I, come, what I tell the buyers, I say, or listing, even seller, if you don't like me, you can fire me anytime. But if you're using your friends and family member, can you fire them anytime? Simple as that. To me, I'm the stranger. You hire me, you can fire me anytime. But can you fire your family member? Can you fire your friends? If you really fire, you just lost the friendship or relationship whatsoever. That's why, you go on the first one. The value of relationship on this. So that's what I usually tell, either buyers or, if you don't like me, it's okay. I didn't expecting you to like me forever. you know, is strictly business, then, hey, you can fire me anytime. So actually, you give them in control. You see how I perform. Don't ask me how much do I give you the kickback. See how I perform. You don't like me, you can fire me anytime, and no cost to you. Just like Mike Ferry say, how much gonna cost? I say, well, not until you sign a listing agreement, right? When it be as a seller. Yeah, not until you sign a listing agreement. It doesn't matter how many percent of commission. You don't need to pay me. You don't owe me anything. Okay? Not until I sell the house. You don't need to pay me. Then what's a, you know, how much really did you really care for the commission? You haven't paid me yet. Just like buyers. You did not pay me. Well, if you want to, you know, get to the retaining, that's why, you know, they want to make sure that, like Caucasian, they like to make sure they get paid or something, even, you know, for some of the cost, then definitely, you know, they would like to charge them something if they didn't, you know, buy the house or property from them. So this part, you know, kind of repeating. We'll go to the next. Right home, rationale. By agreeing to letting me show you the home listed by other agent under my broker, you allow me to show you more home and maybe show you the one home you will fall in love with and have to have. If this happens, we will find a way to let you make an offer on the home, either through me, or if the seller won't agree to do agency, I will refer you to an agent under another broker, and you can then make the offer without being part of a dual agency. See, this is when you got this close. If the dual agency. Sounds pretty vulnerable. Oh, you know, I'm so innocent. I'm gonna have to ask the seller, come on. 99.99% seller will say yes. Can I be a dual agent? Absolutely. Why? You know, how do I tell the seller if I'm the listing agent? I'm in control of everything. Do you allow me to be a dual agent? Absolutely. Right? Yeah. Because I can be monitoring everything. Who's benefit the most? Seller. So if the buyer finding the listing agent to submit offer, who's a loser? Buyer. They expose everything to seller, pretty much. Yeah. Because if they have a problem with the loan, who's the first one to know? Buyer's agent, right? Who's the buyer's agent? Oh, listing agent, because it's a dual agent. Yeah, I know everything. Instead of the, sometimes I can hide a little bit, you know, if the buyer's agent, just like, you know, when I train, you know, some of the, you know, some of the trainees say, oh, what should I do? I say, slowly, react slowly. Don't disturb the pot. Don't scare the seller yet. If you want to, should I extend the loan contingency? Don't say anything yet. Ask a lender, how many days do I really need? Lender say, please extend it 1 week. You know, as a buyer's agent, what do you say? No way! Seller is not going to give me 1 week. I'll give you 2 days. Did seller ever say that? No. You're going to have to learn what? Bluffing. Bluff who? Lender. As a buyer's agent, you know, most of a loan agent, whoever work with me, they understand. But if the newcomer, or, you know, sometimes, you know, I'm the listing agent, or if the, I may just sometimes call the buyers, if I'm the listing agent, I call buyers the lender directly. How many listing agent do that? Hardly. So you don't know anything. If I'm the listing agent, I'll bypass the buyer's agent. I call the lender, because pre-qualified lender, right? Okay. If they don't, if they change the lender, who you can call? Escrow. You gotta learn how to use the escrow to get your information. Just like if you cannot find a listing agent, or you cannot find a buyer's agent, or you cannot find a buyer, or cannot find a seller. Who you can call? Escrow officer. Because only the escrow officer have both side information. Okay? It doesn't matter you're the buyer's agent or listing agent. Escrow supposed is neutral. Then you gotta have to call the escrow. I cannot find a listing agent. Can you help? Believe me, next day, listing agent call you. Every time works. Hey, listing agent never respond my phone call. I'll call escrow officer. Or unless escrow officer not even answer the phone call, then I'm not much I can do. Did you ever see those escrow officer cannot find it? Yeah. So that's tough. Cannot even find an escrow officer. Oh boy. So a dual agency, you know how to answer, especially say, oh, well, I gotta have to ask the, I tell the buyer, say, yes, I can work as a dual agent, but certainly I gotta ask, the seller, as a, for the permission. Yeah, definitely, pretty much. And the other one, if an other trained negotiator, actually dual agent is the case can be great thing, because if we are dealing with other agent would have been through our negotiation training, we will be dealing with the collaborator negotiator who will want to create a win-win outcome for all parties. I know, according to this, we try to get the win-win outcome, but in reality, sometimes you're just like, this time I learned from Mike Ferry. I know it's hard. Sometimes just win or lose. But if you're the dual agent, try your best to create a win-win, because otherwise you'll look pretty bad in front of a buyer. Sometimes I'm staying on the buyer side to persuade the seller, because I know it's not gonna hurt. But on the buyer side, you look, boy, I do the extra effort for you. You gotta know how to perform, right? What do we learn on the Mike Ferry this time? When we do the listing presentation, we perform. We get on the stage to perform. In the other hand, because he is more like preaching, seller, 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 listing, listing, listing. He didn't say talk about much on the buyer, buyer, buyer. Why you do the open house? Wasting time. That's a Mike Ferry. But do we ever do open house? Yeah, very often. Almost every weekend. Yeah. But on his theory, why we do the open house? Wasting time. You rather have a listing appointment instead of open house. Ooh. Well, that's true, but I mean, unless you are really, really top agent like what they have no time to do the open house, or they have to give the open house to someone else because they got over 100 listing at the same time. There's no way you can host the open house, right? But same thing, on the other hand is the, you need to perform in front of a buyer. So especially for a typical Asian, you don't talk what you do. Personally, I think that's wrong. I brag about it in front of my client. How much did I do? So did I earn my money? Am I worth it? 谦虚不一定是美德, okay? Humble, well, depends. On this field, I'd rather brag about it. How much did I do for my buyer? How much did I do for my seller? Then I'm worth it. Because otherwise, you make your money too easy. I mean, how many of your friends think, boy, you guys are great. One case a year, you can survive for a whole year. You talk about what? Those bottom of barrel 50% agent? One case a year? No way. Yeah. Because they didn't know how much do we spend. But you gotta have to show them why you're worth it. Not only you show them your negotiation skill, you show them how much you care. Just like, service. Service, that's what I always tell you. When the service is great, the dollar sign, right? Money come. Money will come. So service is really important, not just service the seller, service the buyer. But I didn't really say you are doing to more like the you work down yourself, 践踏你自己, you know, your pride. We do still have a pride. Okay, some of people, I rather don't have, you know, it's okay. I don't need a face, but I will still keep my pride. Okay, and I cannot do anything you tell me, and even, you know, to the bottom line, say no. I will still say no. I cannot answer everything. Yes, 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 yes. 那你来这边干什么? We come here to make money, right? If you cannot even make money, if you're not happy for what you do, you'll burn out fast. You'll burn out fast. Do you really want the property? Summarize the current market condition. The MLA sold data to compare list price with the sales price for comparable home over the last several months. Call listing agent and prospect for information regarding past or current offers. Guide buyer to prepare offer strategy based on market condition, property condition, buyer's financial strength, and buyer's seller negotiation style. When I read about this, I just thought about it. You know I always send the email to the buyer for just an active listing. What do you guys think if we can start sending them not just active, also sold? But probably that's too many, too many emails. If they are in a particular area, and I can not just I send them to the one on the offer for the active under contract, pending, and sold. Those are usually I email it to seller. I tell them and say how much they sold it for, how much those houses went to the escrow, because their asking price is more reasonable, maybe than ours or something. Okay, those are I email to the seller so they will see it. So if they do consider adjust the price, then actually what they did, James, can we lower the price? No brainer. Yeah. But you know what? Some of the listing agent will say no. Some stupid listing agent will say no. Why? Their ego. I'm somebody. I can sell it. Come on. Are you your ego compared to money? I choose money. Because sometimes seller want the listing agent to lower the price, and listing agent say they won't. It's not like they cut their commission or eat. It's not they're cutting commission. It just, can we just adjust the price lower? And the listing agent, no. Because that's what I heard on some of the expired listing. The seller, the expired listing. Why? Because the listing agent never, I tell them to lower the price and they just won't. So that's why we end up expired. Oh, please. Me. I'll be your listing agent. How much you want to lower? No. I'll work with you. No problem. Because is that what you're expecting from me? I'll work with you. Anytime you tell me to adjust the price, I'll do it right away. No brainer. That's a typical ego. Some of a listing agent. That's what I heard. True story. Yeah. I said absolutely so stupid and ended expire. Like, what do you get? Your ego doesn't make money. Yeah. And also, your self-interest. Emphasize the object achieve the win-win outcome and how important other parties' goals or emphasize point agree to first, then offer reason why you're different are the other parties' best interest. Summarize advantage benefit for other party to accept your offer and the counter. Okay. Sometimes we also have to talk to the listing agent. Before you submit the lowball offer, I will call them first. Please don't get upset. Please pass that message to seller. Why? Because as a typical Chinese, they want to have to ask the bargain first, sometimes 10%, right? We all see that. But do you think that 10% can ever come back to the full price? Possibly. But if the listing agent give it a bad impression from you, they don't even tell you the inside scoop. They will not even give you the chance to counter. Okay? Very possibly. Why I'm telling you that, it's because it's true story. A couple of days ago, I submitted a lowball offer. Oh, 10% off. I hate that. And it's not only that, it's my repeat buyer. I say, don't you learn the lesson the hard way last time? I forgot. Damn it. This happened just like 2 years ago. Not even 2 years. We fight so hard. Now you want to ask for 10% discount. Okay, fine. But I still submitted. So what I talk to a listing agent, please do counter us. I know it may upset seller, but that's a typical Asian way. They want to get the fee wet. Please don't get upset when sellers see our offer. Hmm? Huh? Where they're buying? Pomona. Yeah. So last time we see the listing agent say, James, I'll give you another chance. If you can persuade your buyer to the full price, I'll persuade the seller. Yeah, because it's all cash. You gotta have to educate them. When you got all cash, they think they're a hot shot. Yeah, no. You guys still have to pay the premium. So I tell them and say, let's go look at the house again. Then bring everybody. Family member, everything. So, is it worth it? And I hammer the deal again. Worth it. Good. Sign here. I resubmit the first page of a purchase agreement last night. Right away, when they see the house again. Then hopefully we can, I'm waiting for the great answer. Say, the seller can accept our offer as the listing agent tell us. I'm just like you do, practice every day. Facing the buyers, seller, same thing. I didn't make any exception. It's not like people say, teaching doesn't make any money. Because I like to share, that's it. To me, I didn't make any money here. Yeah, nothing. Why? It's because I learned from those coaching, learn from those, doesn't matter Mike Ferry, Brian Buffini, or Tom Ferry. You know what they did? Basically, what they preach is, if I share, I can get more. I can learn more myself. Why? Because you tell me your situation. Am I learning or not? Yes. Because I'm never facing it. And your question become my experience. So if I get all your question, how much do I learn? That's how I feel. Oh, no problem. Thank you. Because that's how I learn. And when I share more and I'm teaching more, basically that's how I learn more. Each section, if it's stock October, that's I already counted 11. My 11th session. That's about what? 5 years? 5 years? 5 to 6 years? So that's why I learn more, and definitely, and nobody take it away, because all the questions are accumulating here. That's why I get it. What? A database. 大数据有没有？ The big data in my brain. Okay, exchange determined on your client with the concession. You might offer to imply while you presenting the offer counter our buyer or including the refrigerator in the purchase price. But if that's a problem, they are willing to adjust the offer to not include the refrigerator. So I mean, you can certainly counter on that. Just like, you know, last time, you know, the buyer's parents said, can you just at least get a $5,000 or a $10,000 discount? Come on. Listing agent, they tell us I have to be the full price. Son, understand. So we, you know, actually pump up, you know, for the 10% more. That's the asking price. Originally, as a discount. Then I said, okay, fine. You want a refrigerator? Oh, all right. I'll get check mark. Fine. I'll get. And I talked to a listing agent and said, if the seller is not happy, you know, or, you know, doesn't want to give the refrigerator, it's okay. Okay, just tell me or counter me, remove the refrigerator. It's okay. But in front of a buyer, I have to do it. Listing agent, don't worry, I'll get you that. So that's, you gotta have to keep the channel open in front of the even, you know, I talk in front of a buyer, it's okay. I got nothing to hide. But I really do appreciate this buyers because, first of all, I do the auto email. And I tell them it has an open house on this listing. So they actually look at it last weekend by themselves, you know, just on the market. They look at it by themselves and they say they want to submit the offer, but they want to submit a lowball offer. Oof. But I didn't refuse it. Because sometimes if you refuse, what's your problem? Ego. You don't listen to me, right? I told you it's not going to happen. Did I show my ego? No. Fine. I'll tell you. That's why, you know, did you learn the lesson from last time? No. I forgot. Okay, fine. Then I don't want to say anything. How much you want to submit? I still submit it, right? Because that's why you got to have to drop your ego. You cannot say, for my 20 years experience, you don't listen to me. So what? So what? Money first. All right? I'm sorry. Money first. So you drop your ego. I still submit an offer. Then I try to see if I can smooth everything out. It won't hurt. Worst come worst, nothing happened. But at least I still keep this buyer. Because if you don't submit the offer for them, next time they'll find somebody submit the offer. You'll be out. You'll be fired. And I don't want to upset, especially repeating my past client. Because they didn't go through the listing agent. They come back to me. So I do appreciate that. You want to submit a lowball offer? I'll still do it. And including the net sheet for the seller if appropriate. Because sometimes, you know, the listing agent, they may not, you know, including the net sheet. But I mean, usually I don't do that because that's you working too much for a listing agent. It might upset the listing agent. I won't do that. Even when you submit offer, I would not submit the net sheet. And compliment other agent in presenting their client. Try to get other agent on your right. Build rapport. Find a connection and use it. Use our buyer, our seller to convey you are in their side as well. When you do the open house, doesn't matter you know this buyer's agent or not. They bring their buyer. And they, you know, have a good conversation. And you know what? In front of the that buyer, you can compliment this agent. If you're the listing agent, you're in a good hand with this. Even I don't know him or her. Sounds like I know him very well. Look at it, okay? Because that buyer's agent will push their buyer to submit the offer. And it's a great offer because I just do the compliment in front of, you know, their buyer. His or her buyer. Did you ever do that? Yeah, because when I showed the open house, some of the listing agent compliment, you're in a good hand. It's great. I don't know the listing agent. It's okay. What do? Between agent and agent, we perform. We always on stage. When you showing the property, when you doing the listing or sell or open house, what do? Open house, you perform for what? 3 hours in front of different buyer, different audience. Think about this way. You're on the stage to perform a different audience. Every time it's different. So you gotta have to know. So you gotta have to prepare, especially do the open house. Okay. You gotta have to know the market. You have to know the house around the neighborhood. Sounds like you are the expert on this neighborhood, even out of your territory, out of your area. Then you don't want to waste it when you do the open house, because every lead is hard to come by. Because most of it, how many times you do the open house, they all have an agent now. Yeah, a lot. More than half. They all have agent. And I don't want to touch it. So because first of all, welcome, right? Do you have an agent work with you right now? Flat out to ask. You gotta have to ask the right question. Doesn't matter to the buyer or seller. You gotta ask lots of questions. If they don't have an agent, then you know, oh boy, this could be a big fish to me. Make sure you ask a lot of questions. If I learn from the Mike Ferry, because there's 3 questions they ask, from the seller. That's a pre-qualified to the seller. Remember that? What's the first question? Seller.
Like they go to listing presentation. They
Yeah.
ask, do you really have to sell this house?
That's right. Second.
Second, do you want to price it to sell, or are you okay with putting out it on market for a long time?
Okay.
And do you want me to handle the seller?
Do you want me to handle the sale for you? You gotta have to knock your head and point at yourself. Do you want me to handle the transaction for you? How about that? Because I thought about that. What do you tell buyer? Especially when they do the open house. Do you really have to buy the house? Right? You turn around. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. And do you want to find the house on the right price, or finding those houses sitting on the market for a long time? Oh, definitely. I want to get a fresh house, right? Okay. Am I be the one to handle your transaction? Can I turn around the question? Yeah. That's how we be creative. That's how, when I learn on the, that's why, I maybe thought differently because you keep on focus on seller, but I turn around to buyer. That's also the 3 pre-qualified question. Oh, I just want to look around and see if I can get a good deal. Oh, okay, they're not so serious, right? Okay. Do you have to buy the house now? Well, okay, that's urgency. Then after those 3 questions, they say, is your down payment ready and pre-qualified ready if you are financing or you're paying all cash? You start asking questions, lots of questions. You make the buyer talking. Same thing, we make the seller talking. And what do? All we do is asking questions. And sometimes if they ask me a question, I ask them another question. Let them answer their own question. And they cannot deny their own question. Remember every time I tell you that. Instead of answering the question for them, I indirectly ask another question and have them to answer their own question, and they cannot deny, and they have to admit it. If a property have the buyer write a letter to seller, describe how they feel about the seller's home and why they want to buy the seller home. Do we ever say that? Why you need to buy the home? You gotta have to tell the seller, because especially those are really work for Caucasian. You don't have to be the highest price. You don't have to be the best credit. But you tell them, I really do need to buy your home because what Kwang telling us, you can type it, the better yet, handwritten letter. Handwritten letter and you scan it. What your offer. Better yet, with a whole family picture, maybe with your pet. I don't have any pet, but you know. What it's telling you, right? Smart buyer's agent would do that. But a lot of Chinese, they say, why so much trouble? They're just buying a house. Big deal. Well, it is big deal to us. Why? On the seller's market, it is a big deal. Because it's hard to buy a house right now. Well, if you talk about buyer's market, yeah, big deal. Yeah, you just, submit the offer, most likely seller will begging you to buy. It's different time, different stroke. Okay, you gotta have to play differently. So that's why they emphasize it. And that's, how we make the emotion tactics. That's what they're telling you. When you show the buyer, emotion come first. Okay, then the logic come later. Then who has more emotion? Usually, female, wife, girlfriend. Okay. Well, hey, don't get me wrong. Sometimes vice versa. Okay, husband more emotion, and wife's more logic, and who's the boss. Yeah. So you gotta have to find who is more emotion to attack that emotion first, because without emotion, logic is nothing. So you gotta have to start with emotion person first, then the logic will definitely follow. All right, because you gotta have to, if they are not emotion to purchase a house, logic is like, okay, next. Right? They don't really care much. Yeah. Okay, we're done with everything. Any question? For the buyers, I know this is just for in pretty much generic on that, but if you get into more details, everything, then definitely you have to get more deeper, and keep your mind open. Don't keep it within the frame. So that's why we go to training, we will think differently, so we can exchange the thoughts. That's how we come out with. Yeah. And certainly, every time I see those millionaires, millions agent, they pump me up. Not only I have to enjoy my life, and same thing, I will continue to I cannot really say encourage myself to make more money. I didn't really say force myself, I kind of, but you gotta have to encourage yourself. But the first thing, you gotta really have to do it yourself. I always tell you, time management. Time management. Follow your schedule. Because without time management, it's a mess. Yeah, it's a mess. And it is though. Sometimes we go to the training is you learn how to focus. Because sometimes we have got a lot of distraction, we lose focus. That's why once in a while we go to training, so we refocus, our purpose, our career. Then that's the difference. Then once you come back for the focus, same thing. You have to practice. Don't just put your whatever you learn from the notes on the shelf and sit there and never look at it again. See, that's why, did you ever see that the Mike Ferry, the booklet, they have nothing inside. They have no script. Did you know that? Okay, let me tell you. Did you know that the USB? That's right. The video, that one is because it's more like for the charity, but rest of them is a script. They put it to the USB. on that, don't forget it's just throw it away or something. That's valuable USB. You got all the Mike Ferry script. And the booklet, what they give it to us, it's the first time I see somebody give me this thick booklet and didn't write anything. It is a notebook. Nothing inside. No book. Then what I'm telling you is a really first time I have to listen. You have to take a note. But one thing, did you ever see that Mike Ferry? He is about 70-some years old, and he speak for 4 days straight. He didn't hire any other speaker. It's not like other trained coaching. Tom Ferry, they hire the most. Tom Ferry, usually you see only one session by him, at the most 2. The other one, they'll have a guest speaker. Brian Buffini also hired, a couple, guest speaker. But you really see Mike Ferry because he is devoted to his career. You got to look at it. He had to keep the energy going. For a 70-some years old guy, you speak 4 days straight. Even I know they are interviewing some of a panel, panelists, on the top. Who still do the host? Mike. So he still have to do talking. So you got to have to, you gotta have to feel like, boy, he really performed. And because who actually encouraged him? Because he looked at those performers. That's why in Vegas, 82 years old, 92 years old, those performers. I say, boy, they are older than I do, and they still perform great. And they sing a song for straight 2 hours, no break. Yeah. Mike, I think it's about 70, 75, give and take. I know. So that's why every time we see those old guys still working or old agents still working, and I really look forward on my career. Boy, I can work to 100 years old. Yeah, if I'm capable, still drive. Yep. Okay. You will still see me around. Then I'll see you in the training room again 2 months later.